Welcome to Get Your Bell Rung Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, KG. Tonight on Get Your Bell Rung Pro Wrestling Podcast, I have the honor of welcoming a true veteran of professional wrestling, Thomas Walton, better known to fans as TW3 or T-Dub, with nearly 2 decades of experience inside the square circle. TW3 has built a reputation as one of the hardest working performers on the independent scene, from the championship victories across multiple promotions to competing today in OVW. He has earned the respect of fans and fellow wrestlers alike through dedication, resilience, and passion for the craft. This conversation goes beyond the ring as we talk about the grind of the independent wrestling world, the sacrifices it takes to chase a dream for nearly 20 years, and the moment that has defined his journey. It's a great opportunity to hear the real story behind the man known as the A's Baby, talking about TW3. How are you, my friend?
What's going on, KG? Thanks for having me, man.
Man, absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you. I know you've been so busy between OVW, you're traveling. I know you've kind of had some interactions with TNA. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, man. I mean, opportunities have come, and I've gone, and I've done what I could to continue to get those opportunities. I mean, the pay-per-view thing was just crazy. I mean, teaming with Brad Attitude was one thing, but against Sinner and Saint, those guys are like, they're gems in the ring, and it was fun, man. Like, everything is just kind of working out already this year. It's only March, and
right.
I've done Impact, I've done the pay-per-view before I did Explosion. I'm just blessed to have these opportunities that are coming my way and being able to capitalize on them. So yeah, man, TNA's been going great, and I'm hoping to just keep that ball rolling right now.
Now answer me this, man. And look, if this is a silly question, I apologize. I'm nothing but a fan and some guy that has a podcast, almost other billion podcasts. I don't know anything about professional wrestling, although I like to pretend like I do. But, you know, like in baseball, you have professional baseball, but then you have the league right under professional baseball. And although those guys are great, when you go to that next level, it's different. Is that the same professional wrestling? OVW, I mean, come on, man. It's OVW. It's great, right?
Right.
But when you get to something like TNA with the pay-per-view, like you're talking about, is it a different level for you? Is it a different mindset? Talk to me about that.
So mindset's the same, right? Like, my mindset is I'm a superstar no matter where I go, no matter what they ask me to do, no matter what company it is. But yes, it is. Those guys at TNA are on another level, man. And if you don't bring it, you will be exposed in the ring. It's just, that's how it is. And like, I can't say enough about that crew. I love being able to be a part of that whenever I can be. And yeah, it's another level. And if you don't, like I said, if you don't bring it there, like, you're going to know that you're not meant to be there. And right. Everyone can say, oh, I can be there, I can do this, I can do that. But until you've gone there and you've been in the ring and done that in front of a live audience like that on that level, you never really know what you can do until that time happens. So,
talk to me about professional wrestling. You've been in it for nearly 20 years. Do you ever look at your career and feel like the industry hasn't given you enough recognition that you deserve? Because look, I've watched your matches, and I can tell you, and fans, if you're not familiar, go check this young man out, because you were doing things before your time. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're ahead of your time. You're doing things that guys are just now doing, but at the same time, you're not a guy out there just doing crazy stuff. You actually know how to tell a story in the ring at the same time. So do you feel like at times you've just not gotten that recognition that you should be getting?
So I'll put it to you like this, right? I've never done this to get the recognition. I have been passed up on a lot of different things from a lot of different people, and I understand that. But the way that I look at it, it's God's timing, right? So for me, although there are times that I probably should have been recognized for certain things, it didn't happen then. And if it didn't happen then, that's fine, because, again, God's timing. And with it being God's timing, I think that's why things are moving in the direction they're doing for me right now. And there's been plenty of times where it's like, oh, you should have been on this list. You should have been on this list. You should have been on this. Like somebody should have said something about you here. And I hear that stuff. And I'm not going to say I don't disagree with them, but it doesn't make me feel any indifference towards those people who don't put me on these lists. To me, that's a list that they're able to create for the people who they want to support, and that's fine. Everybody can support whoever they want. They can be fans of whoever they want. You can be a fan of me, not put me on a list. That's perfectly fine with me. But when it comes down to it, I know my ability. I know why I'm still around at this juncture of my career and why I'm still able to be a step above a lot of people in that sense. And so, yes, I feel like there's times that I probably should have got a little bit more recognition, but I don't hold any ill intention or any ill feelings against those people. I just kept it moving because eventually I'm going to be so undeniable. You have to give me that credit. You have to satisfaction, and you have to put me on those lists and say this guy is definitely one of the best professional wrestlers in the world right now.
Professional wrestling requires a lot of sacrifices, man. The relationships, time with your family, financial stability at times because you're chasing a dream. What has professional wrestling cost you personally?
Man, yeah, when you talk about that, missed birthdays, missed anniversaries when I was married, it's job opportunities, to do other things outside of wrestling. Um, it's cost me things, but when I think about it, the sacrifice was worth it in a sense because I was always told when I was brought up in this business, you're never going to make money in this business. And if you do make money, it's because you sacrifice a lot to get to a certain point. So for me, as much as it's cost me and as much as I've missed out on certain things, those things I may never get back. But if I didn't take the opportunity to bet on myself and miss out on certain opportunities like that and certain birthdays and things like that, I wouldn't be where I am now. So, and it sucks. It is. It's a tough business, man. It's tough being away from your loved ones whenever you have to be away from them. I, at times, don't go back to California home for weeks. I fly out to OVW and I do TV, and then maybe next is I have to go and I'm going to be at the TNA tapings, or I'm stuck because airlines right now are crazy. I've been stuck in Louisville, Kentucky. I don't know how many different times now already this year because of flights, and so it sucks to be away from the people you love. You know what I mean? I would love to be at home with my girl and my animals, and you know what I mean, but she understands and supports me fully in this. And that's the one thing that people have to always remember too. If you have somebody who's by your side that supports you no matter what you're doing in this business, and that'll always help you get through it. So those that you're missing out on, all those events, all those birthdays and things like that, they become worth it once you make it to where you're trying to go.
Right. Now, let's talk about your girlfriend for a second. Now, I'm not going to bring up her name because I don't like doing that type of stuff. That's not my place. If you want to say who she is, that's fine. But I'm going to keep it I will say she's in the business. And not only is she in the business, she's pretty damn successful herself, which means the height of your career means you're traveling, right? You're going.
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing, my man. How is that working out? That has to be tough.
Oh, man, it's really tough, right? So, and we could talk about it. Candy Crush. Wow, everyone knows. I mean, it's pretty much no secret if you watch social medias. But it's tough, right? Like she's got what she's got to be doing, and I've got what I've got to be doing, and we're both on a trajectory to just go up. Like the one thing that's great about us together as a team, because that's what we are. We're a team. We have each other's back no matter what, and we both know where we want to be, and that's on top, no matter where we are. And it is. It's very tough to be away from her so much sometimes, especially because I moved out to LA to be there with her, to be closer. Because when we first started dating, I was still living in Louisville, Kentucky, and we were doing the back and forth thing. So that was hard. But then now we're living together, but I still don't see her as much. So it's almost like as if we're not living together again. But As long as I keep getting her support and having her have my back, no matter what I'm doing out here, um, as tough as it is, I'll be able to make it through, and I know she will too. So
Right. Now, again, you've been in the business damn near 20 years. Uh, you're very successful, but at the same time, there's still struggles that you've had to go through.
always, yeah.
What was some of your darkest moments of your career that you actually questioned? Man, I love professional wrestling. I love what I'm doing, but I just don't know if it's for me. Has there been that period?
Yeah, man. So when I first started coming down to OVW, it's almost been 6 years now. I would drive back and forth from Green Bay, Wisconsin, down to Louisville, do TV, and drive right back up to Green Bay, and then work a regular job. And it came to a point where I was doing it, but I just didn't feel like I was getting everything I needed to get out of it, because I would go and leave and go and leave. And there's so much more to get out of it when you're at OVW. There's the training sessions, there's the TV reviews, there's all that. And it got to a point for a while, I was like, I mean, why am I even doing this anymore? Like, is this really going to be worth it for me? And I had a phone call with somebody, and they were telling me, you've been in this long. Why give up now? Like, yeah, I know it's hard. It's tough. And yeah, anybody driving 8.5 hours one way and then 8.5 hours back the same way in the same night, people probably think I'm the dumbest person in the world. But I love this so much. It was a sacrifice I was willing to make, not just for my mental, but for my body. You know what I mean? But like I was like getting to a point where I was getting very discouraged, because I was starting to do that, and it just was seeming like I was missing out on so much more. And then I had the phone call, and it kind of just snapped me out of it. It's like, yo, who are you? Like, you know who you are. And once I remember who I was, it was cool.
Right. Since I've been doing this podcast, I've been able to meet a lot of professional wrestlers. I've befriended a lot of them. And something that for some reason surprised me was the amount of drama that could be in professional wrestling. I get people sending me DMs all the time talking about stuff, saying, hey, you may report on this. I'm like, nah, that's not what I do, right?
Right.
Man, how do you keep your head above the water being surrounded by that type of stuff and stay positive?
I've got focus, man. I got focus, and my focus is straight ahead. Like, I can hear it, and I can, hear all about all the mess, all the stuff in locker rooms, stuff like that. But for me, if it's not my business, it's not my problem. And I just try and just keep on going. This person has heat with this person. This person has heat with this person. This promoter doesn't want to book this person. That's cool. That's not Tito. I just kind of just straight focus. I just don't listen to it. I drown it out completely, because if I start to buy into that and then start to filter into all that, and oh yeah, man, well, maybe you should say this, or maybe you should do this, then my focus gets pulled away. And sometimes in wrestling, you don't know it directly, but sometimes people try and pull your focus away so that they can get ahead of you. And like, I've been long now, I've learned those games with a lot of people, and I just straight focus now. It's not, if it isn't my business, if it isn't about me, I don't even care. Right. People, hey, T-Dub, oh yeah, man, really? That's crazy, bro. But anyway, I'm back over here again, because it's not my business. So you know what I mean? I can't do nothing for them, and it's not on me. It's on that, fix whatever it is.
Now, you talked about, having a partner, someone that helps you out. Does having Candy, someone that understands the business, someone that is at the same level, right? Does that help out a lot to help pull you out in case, she maybe she starts to see you kind of leaning a certain way? Is there times that she has to say, yo, man?
Yeah. So it's really good to have Crush in that sense, because she's the hardest person on me other than myself. She's honest with me. If I have a bad match, she tells me. Right. If I'm doing something that she doesn't think I should do, she tells me. She always tells me all the time, like, sometimes you do things where you're making yourself not be the better you. And I'll give you an instance. Sometimes I wrestle like I'm a small guy still, but I am bigger for my size. She goes, stop wrestling like you're small. Like, you're bigger than those guys that are in the ring with you physically. So you need to wrestle at your size. And I forget that sometimes. And if not for her to knock me in the back of my head with that, you know what I mean? I would continuously do that all the time. But because I have her constantly on my back and helping me to get better and continue to improve, like that's why when I get to go to those opportunities like TNA, I can knock those out of the park. Because I remember, oh yeah, Crush said, big, stay big.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's crazy because she's been in the business a lot less time than me. But she's so good at continuously making sure that I stay on track, just like I do for her too.
Right, right. You know, out of all the interviews I did, you're the first person that ever brought up size. And I never thought to ask about that. I mean, does that really matter to professional wrestlers as far as the size? Does that get into, the head of a professional wrestler within the ring?
Some guys, yes. Some guys, absolutely, yes. And like wrestling's about protecting who you are as a character, as your person. Like for me, I can fly, but I'm also good at technical wrestling. You know what I mean? Like I can also strike with the best of them. So when I'm in a ring with somebody who may be my height, but they're smaller than me in size, I shouldn't be doing certain things like letting them fully get me off the ground or just, you know what I mean, picking me up and slamming me down in a way where it makes them look bigger than me, because it's not. It shouldn't be that. I should be protecting my brand. And so, yeah, to a lot of guys, it does matter, man. Like, so we're in the gym for. Like, this is a cosmetic business. It's not just about being athletic and being able to speak on the microphone and being able to, like, be in the ring and actually do what we do. It's a cosmetic business, too. And that's why guys spend hours upon hours upon hours in the gym. And I'll be the first to say it. There's a lot of people in the locker room sometimes that don't look like they're professional wrestlers. And it shows. And those are the same people that you can tell don't go to the gym. And they there and they want to do this, but they don't want it as bad. And it shows in those certain type of things. And it shows in their matches sometimes too. I'm not a bully. I'm not one to sit and talk crap about anybody. I never will. I never do. I give guys advice all the time in the locker room. People come to me and ask me things all the time. And sometimes I tell them, like, yo, you're great in the ring, but like, we're on TV. Like, how do you as a character, how do you as a brand be sold more than this if you're this small, if you're not trying to get bigger, if you're not trying to go to the gym and working out? And like, I give guys advice all the time, get in the gym, like do this. Or guys that are bigger, hey, slim down, bro, and put size on the right way. Cut that to muscle. Like in wrestling, there are certain people who can get away with certain things. For instance, and I'm going to bring it up, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has been wearing a T-shirt since he has been in professional wrestling in shorts. But Kevin Owens is he's amazing. You know what I mean? Dude's a genius in the ring. He's athletic for his size, and so he can get away with that because also he's a talker. Like, complete package. Guys like that get away with it. But then there's Joe Schmo over here who, I want to do the same thing, but you're missing this, you're missing that, you're missing this. So it doesn't work for you, if you know what I mean. You know?
Right.
So,
right. What do you think is more important? The ability to work the mic, your ability in the ring, or are they equally as important? And how important is charisma?
So the first question, they're equally important. And the reason is, if you can't speak on the microphone, the days of having managers, most places are gone, right? So if you can't speak on a microphone, like, how again are you able to market yourself? What can a company do with you if you can't talk? Like, how do you get put in the main event picture if you can't speak? Yeah, you can be great in the ring, but you got to be able to build this story. How do you prepare yourself, and how do you defend yourself against somebody in the ring with a microphone if you can't speak on the mic back? Like what I just seen with like CM Punk and Roman. They both can speak, right? But if you, let's say you put it in there, and this is just an opinion of mine, CM Punk and Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker, okay on the microphone, but there's a reason Paul Heyman was put with him.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
All
absolutely.
the world, but if you can't speak, if you don't have a Paul Heyman, what are you going to do with the rest of your career?
Right.
And then that, what if wrestling isn't an option anymore? What if you do have to become that mouthpiece for somebody else? What if you were so good with your charisma, they still want to be able to use you in a manager role, but you can't talk? Now wrestling is kind of, again, going to be done for you unless there's something else that you can do.
Right.
Things like that. So, and I think, yes, absolutely. I think you need to be charismatic in this business. I don't think it all needs to be the same type of charisma. Some guys are going to be bright and bubbly. Some people's charisma is going to be the fact that they're just really good at being a dick. You know what I mean? Like, I think that all of that is important. I don't think there's not a thing in wrestling that we learn in training that isn't important in wrestling. It's all equally important.
Yep. We're going to get to your childhood in a second. But I have a question back, the mic, being able to kind of promo stuff like that. How much of the success of your career is in your hands versus the bookers or creative? And let me tell you what I'm talking about. A couple of years ago, maybe a year ago, I'm not sure, there was a segment, AEW, MJF, amazing on the mic, going against Willa Yuta. Now, before Willa Yuta got put in a position with MJF, I thought Willa's decent for a young man, on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, MJF just torn apart. You could tell that Willa was not at that level. I don't blame Willa Yuta for that. I blame creative or booking for putting him in that position. They should have known where he was at. Or am I completely wrong? It's like, man, you're just a fan. No, that is all on the professional wrestler.
So I guess that's hindsight's 2020 on that, because that different companies do different things to put people in certain positions, right? I remember what you're talking about, and I don't think that was a good move. But hey, I'm not there. You know what I mean? But if I was booking a company, and I've done that before, where I was a booker, I wouldn't have done anything like that either, because it doesn't build a story.
Don't mean to interrupt, but I guess my question is, TW3, if you were being put in that position, where as good as you are, this guy's just at that next level, would you speak up and say, no, man, we're talking about my career here, or would you just go for the fences and swing? I mean, where does the wrestler lie on that? For you.
Me and MJF out there, let's put it that way. If it's us, that guy's amazing on the microphone, but you know what? Then I'm going to have to get to his level that night. And that's what we needed to do. And you either swing and you take a shot and you hit a home run, or you don't. But you have to at least try and get to that level. If they give you the opportunity, you have to. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's anywhere. Like at TNA, if I ever had an opportunity and they were like, it's you and Mike Santana. Okay, cool. Mike can talk, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, well then guess what? Today I got to bring my A game, my A game.
Right.
And I have to get to that level, because that's your make or break sometimes too. It really is. Like, they give you that opportunity to see, hey, can he float up here, or is he going to sink? You know what I'm saying? So if you get put in that position, you got to take a hit. You got to go ahead and take a swing at it.
Right.
I would never just be like, hey, man, like, I don't know if this is going to be good for my career, or I don't know if this is going to be good for us, period, because if you can just out-talk me, like, is anyone really want to see this match? I'm going to be like, all right, so what do you want me to do? How do you want you tell me where to get to? I'll get there, and I'll match his energy.
Right. But I have to tell you that whoever picked your name as a child, of course, I'm talking about Thomas Walton III. So obviously you're, generations of name, you're the third. Mm-hmm. But they must have known that your calling was to be a professional wrestler, because TW3, what a perfect name for a professional wrestler, man.
Yeah, man. So, like, a lot of people don't know, but, like, the Walton part isn't actually my name.
Okay.
The Walton part was actually given to me. So the T is my name. The Walton part and the third is not my name. That was given to me by Hornswoggle, because he was one of the first people that trained me, and he was also one of the first people to, when I was ready to wrestle, he gave me that name. That they blessed me with that name. Him and promoter Jason Jerry, they made me Thomas Walton III. Right. The TW3 acronym came from when that character had ran its course, in the sense of I was basically Farnsworth Bentley, Outcast Farnsworth.
Right.
And when that ran its course, well, now it's time to be this version of that guy. And TW3 was born.
What's beautiful about both versions of your name, TW3, if I'm thinking TW3, I'm thinking badass babyface, getting the job done.
Yeah.
But when I think of Thomas Walton III, man, I'm thinking of some snooty heel. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's so beautiful about your name.
And that's exactly what it was supposed to be. And I think because I had great minds behind me like that, they knew what they were doing when they gave with that name. And I'm still running its course. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't even wrestling. I'm TW3, but everybody calls me T-Dub, and that's like almost like my new given name now. It's T-Dub. Right. So you know, yeah, man. They knew what they were doing when they did this. That's why they're the bookers.
Right. Talk to me about growing up in Chicago. What type of childhood did you have, and what drew you to professional wrestling? I know for myself, my dad worked a lot. Mm-hmm. So professional wrestling was all about that Saturday getting to spend that hour with my pops. So that's what drew me in.
Right.
What's your story?
So I was born in Chicago, moved at an early age to the other side of basically the border, Kenosha, Wisconsin. And I was raised there, actually. My mom and my dad weren't friends of wrestling. So believe it or not. And they are now, but my mom still always, don't get hurt. Don't let it. But it was actually my uncle. And so if anybody that's listening, most people know already. I think the world does by now because I've talked about it in every podcast I do. Kirby Puckett was my uncle. And
get out of here.
Kirby Puckett was my uncle.
Why didn't I come up in my research?
I don't know. I have no idea. But my mom's the oldest living sister of the Puckett family.
Okay.
Kirby showed me wrestling first in Minnesota. I used to take vacations there during the summer and stuff. Sometimes during the winter, it just kind of varied. I was with Kirby a lot sometimes. And it was Ric Flair versus Sting, Clash of the Champions. And that was it for me. Like the bright lights, Sting's bright hair and those colors, Flair's freaking robe with all those freaking diamonds on it. That was it. And I just started watching from there. And then I found out WWF was around. And I was watching guys like Jake the Snake and The Undertaker and things like that. Undertaker's actually still to this day my favorite wrestler. Okay. And heel when I started watching. Like, this guy is a person I probably should have been running away from the TV, but I was like, give me more, and just into the like it was just I was mesmerized by all of it. It was just something that as I say all the time, I just never outgrew it. And I said that if I got the opportunity, I would become a professional wrestler. And of course, my size and as small as I was, because I was a lot shorter then too, I was always told, dude, you got to be like 6'6", 300 pounds to be a wrestler. You'll never be a wrestler. And, you know, right place, right time. And nearly 20 years later, here we are. So
now you said The Undertaker was your favorite. What was it about him? I know for myself, my guys, really there was two guys, Bob Cook, who I'm lucky enough to have as my co-host, and the Junkyard Dog. Bob Cook represented for me. No matter how many times this guy got beat, he came up and he was just always stepped back up, and that resonated as a kid that got picked on. Junkyard Dog, he's from the South. I grew up watching Mid-South wrestling. He was a common guy. He was like me. You know what I'm saying? What was it about the Undertaker?
Because you couldn't beat him. You couldn't. Man, it's like a lot of people were into superheroes and stuff like that, and I am too. Don't get me wrong, but I've never been as into superheroes as I am wrestling.
Right.
So wrestlers for me were my superheroes, and Undertaker, you couldn't beat him. Even though he's a bad guy, he's throwing guys in body bags and stuff, you couldn't beat this dude. Like the Ultimate Warrior, who was supposed to be like the best guy in the world, couldn't beat this dude. Hulk Hogan couldn't beat this dude. So I'm like, that's who I want to be. I want to be him. So, you know what I mean? Like, I thought it was cool. He's like putting people in body bags and just taking them out. Like, it's like, all right, give me the next one. Like, can't beat this guy. He's a superhero to me. So it was just that, man. And like, I was into really dark and scary things too as a kid. So like the whole graveyard thing and like him being around caskets and stuff. Like, again, kids probably ran away from stuff like that. And they were terrified of funerals and things like that. At funerals, I was intrigued. I was an intrigued kid, you know, like, oh man, I wonder what they're gonna look like this time in that casket. You know what I mean? Like I was a weird kid, so
Right. How old were you when you decided you want to be a professional wrestler, and when you actually told your family? Because as you said, your mom, dad, they were professional wrestling fans. And what reaction did you get? I know for myself, there's a side of me that wanted to get in professional wrestling. I had authority issues, right? So I knew I would never make it. That's why I didn't even waste my time. I was immature and a little badass kid. Um, what was it about wrestling that made you want to get into it? And how old were you? And when did you tell your family?
so probably like you said, 5 years old is when I wanted to really do it. Obviously, I was a kid, and you want to do everything when you're a kid. But and then I graduated college and everything, and I had been doing some backyard shenanigans. And I called my mom one day, and I was like, "Hey, I found out a place I can go train to be a professional wrestler, and I'm going to do it." And I was on speakerphone. I didn't know it. My dad in the background goes, "You want to do that fake shit?" And I'm like, and because he's been telling me this, my entire life. It's fake, it's fake, it's fake. It ain't really hitting him. You think if he hit him with a wrench, he would just get back up? He didn't hit that man. And I yelled back, "Yeah, Dad, I want to do the fake shit." And so I was about like 21, 22. And then I found the right places to go. And then I made it happen. So,
My dad, even though he liked professional wrestling, my dad always told me, because I think he was worried that I would really go out and try to do some goofy shit.
yeah.
My dad used to always say, boy, if you hit a man that many times and he doesn't fall down, he's coming after you, it's okay to run at that point. It's okay to run at that point.
Right. Die.
Yeah. Yeah. You were trained by, and I'm going to mispronounce his name, Dylan Postal?
Yep.
What was the toughest lesson that he taught you in training? Because there's a lot of guys that wrestling school is not what they expect it to be. It's a lot harder than what they expected. What was the toughest lesson he taught you?
So it's a combination, right? Because Shane Hills is the other guy who. And honestly, it's when I think about training now versus the way it was then, those guys beat me up, man. Like that was probably the hardest lesson they taught me is they beat me up because they wanted to see if I was going to come back. And that's what's supposed to do. And I get that. When I bought the school from Shane, I did the same thing. The name of the school is called Dojo of Pain. And when I bought the school from Shane and I started training people myself, it was the same thing. The name of the school tells you itself. You're coming here and it's going to be painful. Like I didn't want to train people in a way where, okay, we're going to teach you all this stuff, but we're not going to really pound you because that's what's going to happen some places, right? I wasn't prepared for that. So the hardest lesson I learned was pain. Right. But it was also to make sure that I got back up every single time. Right. Dylan and Shane did a really good job at teaching that.
What was probably your most embarrassing moment early in your career, but at the same time, it was the most valuable thing you personally learned that you remember to this day that keeps you from making that same mistake?
Tucking my chin. Taking a bump and tucking my chin. I was in a match with Shane, and it was like 5 other people, so it was like 6 of us. And Shane went to give me a muscle buster, and it was not only embarrassing, it was scary. I landed, and I ended up with a stinger, and I had never felt anything like that in my life. And it was on me. The way that I landed, but it was also the way that I took it. And I had to roll out of the ring, and I'm down there and everything, and I'm starting to cramp up, do the whole thing and season up. And it was embarrassing, number one, because like I was supposed to win that match, and it was like a title match. It was going to be one of my first few pushes. And but it was also a really good lesson because like I did end up finishing the match, but we had to obviously change the finish. But it was a lesson because it was one of those things that like it was always what they told me. It's like you have to be able to protect yourself. If you don't protect yourself, I can't protect you. And it was definitely a hard lesson, a scary lesson, but I haven't not done that since. You know what I mean?
I ask this question to everybody because I get such different answers and it amazes me. And this is the question. There are certain professional wrestlers, your Bret Harts, your superstar Billy Grahams, that those belts they won, their championships, they took that meant something because they took it as that's the company saying we got faith in you that you are the guy that's going to sell tickets, but as the seats. I've had other guys that's like it's a prop to them. You've held championships across several promotions. Is it just a prop to you, or is it something that no, it means something to you?
So the belt itself is a prop to me. That's all it really is. That's what I was taught from day one.
Right.
It's the title of the belt that you hold. That part right there is what means something to you. Because yes, I've held heavyweight titles places. I've held exhibition titles places. You know, I've held all these different titles. And for me, yeah, that's an honor because that is the company saying, hey, we trust you with this division to bring it to the next level to be able to make the next guy. And so, yeah, that's an honor. But the belt itself, yeah, it's just a prop. If we could just get a title and you're like, TW3 is the OVW Rush Division champion, and you just call me that, and I don't have the belt, I'd be fine with that. Because number one, belts are heavy, and you have to carry them with you everywhere. So that's just more things in my damn suitcase that I don't want to have in there.
Right.
So, and number two, it's just a prop. But the honor of being called that champion is what it's all about. For me, I've been OVW one half of the OVW Tag Team Champions. Never saw that coming in my career. Never thought in a million years that would happen. But it happened. And that was an honor because that was Al saying, I trust you and Donovan to bring this division to where it needs to go next. You know what I mean? So, and the company saying, I know I can make money with you.
Right. Is there one company over another that honor meant more to you? Like, what was your favorite company to be able to represent as their champion? And I don't want to get you in trouble, so if you prefer not to put anything over, then that's fine too.
No. Honestly, it would be OVW. I mean, the prestige behind it, right? A lot of people like to talk and just hate on OVW all the time. And that's all the time. It's been like that since I've been here. It was like that before I got here. Like, people just want to talk bad about OVW, but no matter how much you talk bad about those three letters, the prestige is still there. So you're not getting rid of it. And for me, having all that prestige behind it and being able to hold a title for that company has probably been the biggest success of my life so far.
Yeah, and we'll get to OVW in a second, but I don't get that because I honestly mean this. When I'm able to have someone from OVW come on the show, or have the opportunity to talk to someone, I feel as though, I treat that as like I'm having one of, someone from WCW or, another big promotion because OVW, it is a solid promotion. We'll get to them in a second. Have you ever had a match where you knew something was terribly wrong, but you had to finish it anyway? Because I know that in professional wrestling, you have to be able to adapt and handle things. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I've had a match like that before. I won't name names, but I was doing a street fight with somebody, and we were supposed to go from the ladder to the table. And I could tell that when the guy was climbing up the ladder to do it, something wasn't right. And so I pulled him off the ladder and hit him with a move. I just ended up putting him on the table and said, don't move. And I just went, full force through the table for both of us. Because I could just tell. And sure enough, I was right. He tore his MCL and ACL. And you could just tell by the way he was climbing something wasn't right. But he's one of those guys, too, that would have just finished the match anyway. But, I knew that, for us to be completely safe, we needed to just take it home and go home. Because I don't know if I would have been able to actually lift and give him that suplex from that ladder if he can't, fully support his other leg. So that was scary, man, because when you see somebody that that's just as good as you are and it's somebody who is like been everywhere, you know, the Ring of Honors and stuff. Like you look at that and you go, oh, well, I guess we're doing this way. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't for me to change it, but I had to change it. It's like I want to protect both of us at this time, and I also didn't want to do something where it would put me in harm's way too. I felt he would have put himself more in harm's way, but both of us in jeopardy if I was trying to give him something and he couldn't fully support himself. So.
Now, we're just talking about OVW, man. What is it about OVW that people like to talk shit about? Because, look, and this is just my opinion. This is a fact.
Yeah.
OVW has produced more stars than even NXT has. And I'm not talking about more people that has been brought to the main roster. I'm talking about stars, solid stars, main event stars. More came from OVW than NXT. Why do people, I mean, what is it? Is it jealousy? I mean, what's the deal?
So a lot of it, I believe, is jealousy. Like I've said that to guys in the locker room before. It's like I think they're just jealous of us. You know what I mean? Jealous of the opportunity. And the thing is, the opportunity is there. You can reach out and you can try and come down and you can try and get in front of the cameras and do what we do. Like the opportunity is there. Like OVW has a policy where you can reach out to the person who's booking those matches and get a dark match tryout. You know what I mean? If somebody recommends you. So I feel like a lot of it is jealousy. People talk about it in the wrong light because it's not a developmental anymore. So now they just think we're out here playing. But the problem is that they always forget, and maybe a lot of people don't realize, is there are only a few different companies that are live TV every single week, right? OVW is one of them. We do live TV. It's not live to tape. It's live in front of a studio, instead of a live audience, not studio, in front of a live audience. And at the same time, it's being broadcasted on TV in Kentucky, in Indiana, in the Ohio area, like in the Tennessee area. Like we're on TV. So we mess up. Guess what? There's no, oh, we can edit that out. And there's only a few other companies that do that. And we know what those other companies are. So the fact that people do hate on OVW as much as they do, it has to be a jealousy thing. It has to be. But us that fly these letters loud and proud, we don't let it bother us. Like people talk to me about it all the time. And then those same people in the same stretch will come back and be like, hey, Tita, could you possibly slide me that guy's number or, you know, his Instagram so I can like try and come down there and get a dark match?
Right.
But the same person that was just talking crap about it the other week, not to me personally, but hearsay, because people tell me all the time. It's like, yeah, dude, yeah, I'll get back to you. And of course I don't. But like, why? Why am I going to help you when you just shit talk the whole time? You know what I mean? So the only thing I can ever think of, and some of us always talk about, is like, oh, we're not a developmental anymore, so they just think we're playing indie. We're just an indie with TV. No, we're still a TV company. We're just not as big as WWE, AEW, and TNA. You know what I'm saying? So,
right. Yeah, the fact of the matter though is, and I know this for a fact because I'm not going to say the guy's name, that I had opportunity to talk to him. Worked for one of the two big companies, and I asked him a question, and the question was, out of all the indie companies out there, if you receive a tape, a resume, something, what company is it that makes you guys actually stop to actually look? OVW was the very first name that came out of his mouth. But saying that, being that you're with a company that's produced so many megastars, what kind of pressure does that put on you? Or are you a guy that just handles pressure as well, but it doesn't add pressure to you?
So, like, it puts pressure on, I think, not just me, but all of us. We're all under that blanket now. So, and the fact that, yeah, it has produced so many different stars, like, it's a pressure cooker the entire time. But, like, I just take pressure and then I just build upon it. Like, it doesn't, like, really get to me. The only thing that gets to me is me. And that's me getting in my own way. And I like pressure, because that gives me something to try and like conquer. You know what I mean? We're talking OVW right now. I have been in a turkey suit for OVW for over 120 some days. And probably the thing that people were like, why is this man still in this suit? I hear it all the time. You're such a good wrestler. You're talented. You got charisma. Like, you can really go in the ring. Like, you're in a turkey suit, man. Like, what are you doing? And I tell them all the same thing. I'm in a turkey suit because I can't win a match right now, right? But I'm also making you guys talk about the fact that I'm in a turkey suit, and you have been for the last 100 and something days. So whatever I'm doing is obviously getting your attention. And it's gotten the attention of a lot of different people that are outside of OVW that are at some places that I don't need to name because they're watching.
Right.
So whatever we're doing at OVW must be working because you're talking about it.
Right.
And I always say, whatever we're doing must be working because you're still talking about it.
Yep. Let's talk about winning and losses for a second. Now, for a fan, for myself, I obviously want to see my favorites win, right? So win and losses matter to fans. But as my co-host Bob Cook will say, as a professional wrestler, win and losses doesn't mean jack shit because as long as you're being featured, who cares if you win or losing, right? But I've had other wrestlers tell me that win and losses, they matter to them. Where does TW3 fit in with wins and losses?
I'm in a turkey suit for 120 days. But because I'm in a turkey suit for 120-something days,
right,
every week, that's what matters to me. Because the more you see this face on TV, the more people are going to know who I am, right? So for me, wins and losses, they don't matter because you see my face every week. And the more you see my face, the more other people are reaching out to me. Hey, can we bring you in? Hey, can we bring you in? Hey, can you bring you in? And believe it or not, that's happened so much since I've been in this suit. Like, you would think the appearances on TNA would do it, which they have. That's also happened. But this suit has garnered me so much attention from some of the places I have been trying to wrestle for years that are now starting to reach out because I've been able to do this suit thing and get it to where it needs to go so well that, like, now I'm getting the attention of other people that I never got before.
Right.
For me, losses, they really don't matter. They didn't matter to me before that. The only thing is the exposure to be able to be seen on live TV every week.
Now, I know today's fans could be way overbearing, man. And again, I know wins and losses matter to fans because they moan and complain and bitch all the time about it. But do professional wrestlers, do you guys want fans to have win and losses matter to them? Because doesn't that mean that, man, yeah, we get it. They could be a little silly about it, but that means they're invested and they care. Or is it, man, fans are they're crazy. They need to just stop that shit.
So if you're a fan of mine and you're passionate about the fact that I haven't won a match in that many days, I'm more than okay with that, right? Like, I do want you to understand that you are allowed to, feel for wins and losses. I get that. That's fine with me. It does not bother me because that's how I was as a wrestling fan, how I still am as a wrestling fan. I'm still a big fan of this stuff.
Right.
I have guys on another level that I'm fans of. I'm like, man, I wish this guy could just get a win. Man, I wish this guy could get a push. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. But fans are more than allowed to do that. And yeah, wrestling fans are crazy, bro, but we're all crazy.
We're all, yeah.
You got to be crazy to be in this wrestling business.
Right.
Like, we all have, like, letters going on, you know what I mean? Like, I told somebody once, I was like, I'm probably a little autistic. And nobody ever caught it because back in me growing up, back in my day, they just thought we were just hyperactive kids. I probably had ADHD, ADD, all that stuff. Who knows? But, like, you have to have a little bit of things going on with you in the head to be a professional wrestler. You really do. Like, the things that we do don't make sense. You know what I mean? But we're all fans of it. And we were all fans of it to start, and we're all still fans of it now. So,
talk to me about your story about getting to OVW, man.
Pandemic happened, man. And I had just I had shaved my head. I had dreads at the time, but I shaved my head. And it was time for, like, this whole dreadlock dynamo thing to die. And I hit up a friend / promoter named David Hero. And it's like, hey, Dave, I had an idea for a new character. And I said, because I've always been true to, like, who I am as a character. Thomas Walton III came for money. Well, so did I. You know what I mean? TW3 was oppressed a little bit and kind of had to fight through certain struggles. So did I. So I told him, I was like, I'm thinking about doing like some bib overall shorts and boots with these with the checkered print on them, like High Energy, Owen Hart and Coco
Right.
Beware, and call myself the '80s baby. And he goes, I like it. He goes, get it together and send it to me, and we'll put you on that next show, because I was already booked, but we'll try it on the show. And it went over, man. And the reason it went over was because it was me. It was just organically who I am. I'm an '80s baby. I love '80s hip hop. I love all those dance moves. I still to this day do all those dance moves when I go out to the clubs. I was out with some young guys when I was on the road, and they're like, "Bro, what are you doing?" I'm like, "What do you mean, bro? These moves were the shit when I was growing up." And a lot of people will still say they're the shit. Like, no, you gotta do this thing here. I was like, no. Let me show you all something real quick. And so those things, it worked for me. And I put some more size on, and I got serious about getting in the gym, because I was coming to a precipice where I was like, I'm gonna try one more time at this, because I've been doing a lot of extra work for WWE and like constantly back and forth doing it, but I still not signed, still not where I want to be. And I got to a point where I was like, I'm gonna give this one really big push. And so I also said, Dave, I want to go to OVW, and I knew Dave had contacts with Al, and I had met Al several times working Dave's shows at the Six Flags shows, and he said, I'll contact Al. And I think Al saw the new thing that I was doing, and he told Dave. He put on size, and I like to tell him to come down. I went down. I did a dark match. I didn't do so good because I didn't know where the hard cam was, but the match itself was good. I did what I need to do for the guy. I did another dark match a week later. That was good. Next thing I knew, they threw me on TV, and the rest is history. And my first big storyline was with Tony Bizzo.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to drag me into some stuff that I didn't necessarily agree in, and we got the button heads, and TW3 was on pay-per-view. Like, it was crazy.
Talk to me. You kind of mentioned it a little bit to get into my next question. What does the character, the '80s baby, or the '80s baby, represent, man?
Me, man. It's me, totally just to 1,000, bro. I cranked that shit up. I feel so alive just being able to represent my style of like what I love, which is '80s music, '80s dance, '80s everything, bro. '80s movies, all of it. '80s wrestling. Like, dude, I know who Coco was. I used to love the fact that he came out with a parrot on his freaking shoulder. You know what I mean? Like, people were like, how do you know about these things? And a lot of people, and I'm not going to age myself because most people already know, but I'm older than I, right? So, like, just being able to embrace what I grew up in and try and bring it back to give that to the fans who don't know about the '80s style, like all the bling and all the weird haircuts and hair color and all that stuff, bro. It's just me. That literally people are, what is the '80s baby? '80s baby is TW3, baby. That's all it is. It's me representing my style, my era, everything about me. So,
after nearly 20 years, what are you most proud of?
Still being here, not giving up. Because like I said, we had that conversation where I was ready to just be like, yeah, well, I've had a good career for me. It's time to just go. Still being here and still not being afraid to bet on myself every single day. Every single day that I wake up and I put on my clothes and I go to the gym and I bet on myself there. And every single day that I go to that arena and I'm on TV for OVW, and every single day that I step in the ring, I bet on myself. I try different things. All right, that didn't work. Just shake it off. I laugh at myself. I shouldn't have done that. I won't do that again. Because I'm constantly trying to reinvent myself, even when I don't need to reinvent myself, just to be different. I just want to be different. I want to be able to do something that somebody goes, it's that. And they go, hey, we'd like to bring you in and sign you. You know what I mean? I want to be able to stand out from other people, because I'm going to say this, and I hope this doesn't come off wrong to anybody who's listening, but if I can't be different, I'm just another black guy in a wrestling locker room doing the same thing. So I have to do something different, some way, somehow. And I say that as this, because there are not as many of us in these locker rooms anymore, but the ones that are there, we're all sometimes doing a little bit of the same thing. And when none of us stand out, none of us make it. So in order for me to make it, I got to stand out somehow. So I have to constantly be trying to reinvent myself, even in the moment. But me being proud of anything, it's the fact that I'm still here and I'm still pushing forward, and I just really haven't given up.
Is there anything that you would say no to?
Nah. Bro, WWE could call me and say, hey, we've seen this chicken thing, or this turkey suit. We want to put you in a penguin costume, and we want you to go out there every week, and we want you to lose to The Miz. I'm going to look at him and go, brother, if I'm on TV every week, where do I sign? It's just that simple. Like, nobody that's doing this for real, that's not just coming out here doing Weekend Warrior stuff, can tell me that their goal is not to get to WWE. Their goal is not to get to TNA. Their goal is not to get to AEW. Every one of us wants to be on TV. So if you want to be on TV and something's offered to you, you don't say no. I'd take a ref job if I wasn't so tall. Like, I know you can't be that tall when you're a ref, but if I wasn't, you know what I mean? If they would say, hey, we want to give you a ref job, I'm on TV. I've made it. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's a no-brainer. But there are people that would say no to those things.
Right.
I know people who have said no to certain things like that. And I just look and go, why?
Right.
Oh, well, because I'm not going to be able to wrestle. Or I'm not going to be able to do me. Well, bro, maybe doing you just wasn't getting you there. And now they're giving you an opportunity to do something else.
Right.
I said no. Give me the phone number. Let me call him.
Right. Yep. What do you think younger wrestlers today misunderstand about the business?
That it isn't always about them. That it's about the other person you're in the ring with. 100%. Young guys have to go out there and do every single thing under the sun because they need it to be all about them. And they forget they're in the ring with one other person. And for me, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. But I've been able to be around so long that now when people come to me and we're having a match, I tell them, look, we're both out there. We both had to make each other look great. I'll do my job, you do yours. And it's so I don't have to deal with it as much anymore, but sitting back there and I'm watching sometimes at different places, I'm just like, it's only about this person, and you can totally tell. And you can tell when the other person comes through the locker room or through the curtain and they're just dejected. And then you can go to them and be like, hey man, what happened? Bro, he just wanted to do all this stuff. He didn't care about me. Well, that's not how this works. Like, not peeling back the curtain or anything, but we've all, like, Unreal's out there. We all know what's going on, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, we have to work together. No one gets anywhere if we don't work together. The story can't be told if we're not working together. And a lot of young guys out there to this day that just don't get that. And some of them will never get it.
Babyface or heel? And the reason why I ask, especially you look like you're a natural babyface. You're just a freaking likable guy. Yeah. You are, even without me ever meeting you, just watching you on TV, you are just a likable guy. That doesn't mean that you like being a babyface. You might like being a heel. What is your preference?
I do like being a babyface. I actually love being a babyface because for me, I like seeing fans who really truly enjoy what we're doing, and especially the kids, right? I love like entertaining for the kids. Because I was a kid when I started watching this stuff. So I do like being a babyface. My biggest thing is people really haven't been able to see me pull back the layers of me being a heel on TV yet. So when that comes, I think I'll enjoy being a heel even more because I've been that heel before.
Right.
Now I just need an opportunity at some point in time to do it on TV. Because then I think you would say, okay, TW3 can pull this off too. You know what I mean? But I'm a natural babyface because I'm just a nice guy. Don't get me wrong. I have layers to me where I can be a dick. You know what I mean?
Right.
But justifiable me being that way.
Right.
I like seeing the smiles on kids' faces, and I like doing things, signing those autographs for them that way. So I do naturally like being a babyface.
Now, this question may sound crazy because I know that you have so much left, but I have spoke to people that they were good where they were at, right? They didn't want to go any further because of the traveling and stuff like that. So what is still left for you to accomplish?
To get a contract. That's it. That's all that's left to get is to get a contract. Because getting a contract is the ultimate end all be all for me. And like I have places I still want to go, but I feel like with a contract, those things will come too. I want to go to Japan. Like that's a big goal of mine. It's always been a big goal of mine. I always said if I didn't get signed somewhere, as long as I made it to Japan, I'd be happy. Because I've been to Canada, you know what I mean? I've been international, but I've never been to Japan. And that's a huge thing for me. I trained at the New Japan Dojo last fall, and I need to go back and I need to complete that because I had some things happen where I couldn't be at those trainings. So I still have to go back and complete it. But I've been a part of that for most of those 12 weeks, and that's brutal. But it was everything I loved about it because I like Japanese wrestling. So that's a goal. But ultimately, the goal is just to be signed and be on TV.
Yeah.
That's what
I'll
this
ask you a question about Al Snow for a second. I've had someone tell me that, the thing about Al Snow is great guy, but he can be a perfectionist. And working for him can be so damn frustrating. But at the end of the day, you walk away so grateful that you listened to him because it made you a better person, a better wrestler.
And whoever told you that is not lying because it is. It's very frustrating at times, right? But he knows what he's doing. That's why he's the guy writing the TV. That's why he's the guy that's doing all these things and putting you in these positions. He's moving those pieces to the way that his brain works because he's been there. So as frustrating as as frustrated as some of us might be sometimes, we also look at the bigger picture. This guy knows what he's doing. He always has known what he's doing. People may have been like, yo, that turkey suit thing, I don't know, man. And I just say, hey, trust the process. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm trusting the process. I trust Al fully with everything he does. If I didn't, I wouldn't be at OVW. Right. You have to trust in him to be able to be there. Because if you don't trust him, you're probably one of the people that were there and it's like, I'm going to leave. Or it's just not for you. But I tell you this, if you go there and you trust him and you see the magic that he creates and what he brings out and what he's able to produce out of it, you never want to leave. That's for sure. The other place you want to go is another TV company because that's what a lot of guys are missing now these days too. You're not going to be able to get these reps for these other TV companies if you don't go to an OVW. And there's only one OVW.
Right. Last question. God forbid this was your last interview you ever did. What do you want fans to always remember you by? What is the most important thing to you? And it doesn't have to be about professional wrestling. Just what mark do you want to be, made in the world?
That no matter what, and it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's me training the Wild Woman of Wrestling creatively, all that stuff, being in the ring, just me as a person. Like I just was a guy with no quit. I don't have any quit in me. Like I want people to always remember that T-Dub was a guy who just never gave up. And it sounds cliche, like it's a John Cena thing, but it's true. Like I just have no quit in me, and I'm just never gonna give up. And if this was the last interview, just know that I stayed in this game, and I never left, and I never gave up.
Man, look, I know you said that, you're what you have left is that contract. I think you're gonna have a couple of big contracts coming your way because you're so damn good. You really are. I have no doubt that we're going to see you on WWE TV one day. I just zero doubt. If I was a betting man, I'd put everything I had on that.
I appreciate that.
Man, just made me this promise that before you put your John Hancock on those dotted lines and you can't come to these little small podcasts anymore, give me one more interview with you right before you sign.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. I definitely. And I'm glad we were able to make this happen. And yeah,
yes.
I'll come back to you before anybody else, or I can't do anything else.
I really appreciate that, man. Guys, check TW3 out on OVW. Tell the fans when they can see you on television and some events you may be going to live.
OVW TV every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Triller, the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, and then if you're in Kentucky, your local Kentucky channel. I got a lot of stuff coming up, man. Compton Mania in Vegas, the day before WrestleMania, 7 p.m. Container Park, Fremont Street. OVW's got a live event this week in Elizabeth, Kentucky, 7 p.m. start time there, 7 p.m. Eastern. I've got Rebellious coming up in June. I mean, hey, just keep your eyes out. Might see me on TNA again. You never know. But yeah, man, you can catch me. You can find out where I'm going to be at on my Instagram. That's what I use the most. And it's the 80s baby, BAYBEE baby, on Instagram. And my Twitter's like that too. I just don't use it. So
I really appreciate your time, my friend. Make sure if you're ever promoting anything to always tag me because I try to put everybody's stuff on my page, man. I like this. I want everybody to be successful. There's room for everybody in professional wrestling. If someone wants bad enough, I think people should be successful. Tell your girlfriend I said hello. I think the world over. I don't always approve of what she does in the ring, but nonetheless,
yeah, she's kind of rude like that sometimes.
Absolutely, my friend. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. We'll be back tomorrow night, myself, WCW veterans, Robbie Idol, and Bob Cook, as we're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw, what happens tonight. Until then, you guys have a great week. TW3, thank you again so much. I really appreciate it, brother.
Well, good night, man. Thank you.
Good night.